It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Oh, the heat is on me here on Declare Your Independence. And me, Ernest Hancock. Yeah, Brad Friedman and Stewart got my voice all gone again, man. Well, maybe we'll be back next week. I'll be all right. You know, the one thing that I did want to get into, we have Michael Boldin is representative from the 10th Amendment Center, and this is a nationwide conference going around, and you got guys like Stewart Rhodes from Oath Keepers, you got Sheriff Richard Mack, you got Gary Johnson, former governor of New Mexico. He's going to be speaking also, and he's probably going to be running for president here in 2012. You have a lot of other big names that there to make sure that the rhetoric is spread for what? And my thing is, where's the anarchist in there? Where's the guy that says, you know what, do we have the option of voting not at all or none of the above? If I don't get the vote for not being ruled by your government, then you got an oppressive government, coercive, already we haven't even got started yet. So I'm going, you know, and that was the big thing with Bob Schultz going to Jekyll Island and all that and so on. Had, you know, Ernie, you got to come. And I go, all right, well, I'm going to vote for none. Am I allowed to do that? If I don't get the vote none, then it's not really an option. Am I allowed to vote none?
I've exercised my own duty of never voting in my life, so I've never found anyone who can actually represent me as an individual other than myself. So I've never given them my vote. And I think if more and more people
you better not
do
tell
that,
any of these guys that.
I think if more and more people do that, they may delegitimize the system. I don't believe in the lesser of two evils. Now, if someone feels that voting is their way of doing things, I'm never going to say no to someone who feels that some path is right for them. So for some people, voting is the right path. For other people, doing a sit-in is the right path. For other people, growing hemp, even though it's illegal in the United States, is the right path. Or selling marijuana is the right path. For me, it's maybe a little bit of all of it.
You know, this is interesting for Stewart to get in on this because, you know, this is a totally different phase of the movement over years to where we have now a lot of the people that are leadership, that are really involved in this, are representing a much wider freedom-oriented, you know, like I just got the movie Guns and Weed, and you know, it's a good movie. We were interviewing the guys earlier this week, and I'm just wondering, you know, do you see this as a continuing trend, and how are the traditional older blue hair Republican women that are in the average age of 67 and a half years old, and they go to these events, how are they reacting when exposed to this rhetoric?
Well, I think his speech at the gun conference was a good indicator. He went in there thinking he's going to get kicked out, and he said, well, you know, kind of shamed him and said, do you gun rights activists have the courage of a pot smoker? And he made a really good point, and the reaction was very favorable. You know, they are starting to understand that this is not about whether we like this person or this substance or this cause. It's about broader principles of autonomy and natural rights and inherent rights. That's where we're starting to get more consistency. Like I said earlier, my whole point is that right now I have a narrow window where I can talk to Republicans and they'll actually listen about fundamental rights and natural rights and the Constitution, where before they wouldn't under Bush. I know that when John McCain or someone's elected in the White House, that window will shut. And then it'll be the liberals who will be open to hearing the message. So I'm just doing what I can with what I got. But we are growing that third part of the population who is always awake and always has their eyes open. They are salvation. The more of them we can create, the better for us. And like you said, it's a continuum down a path. Even the ones who are awake and consistent about being concerned about the Bill of Rights and about natural rights, they're not always going to be as far down the road as you are or him or me. But we're moving them down that road, and their eyes are open the whole time. That's important.
Okay, you know, I'm feeling better. You're
feeling good.
I'm feeling a little bit better.
Feeling love?
You know, because, you know, you can understand from my perspective that if someone, I was the young people back in 80, I was 20-something years old, just had my 4th child. Now Sierra, my producer, she's becoming of age and aware of what's really going on, and she books these shows. She reads the stuff. She posts stuff on Famous Phoenix. She's the one that schedules everybody and talks to them and listens to the show and edits them and all that. I mean, you think she doesn't get it? You think she doesn't understand? Guys like my first hour guest, Brad Friedman, that's we come together so we can spend your money. So I understand that there is an entire new generation that knows that what we got now is broke. They understood how it got broke. They understood the mechanism by which it was broken and the people that broke it. And I'm going, okay, and the fundamental advocacy for a change from that is what? Is there a fundamental advocacy of change? Well, at first glance, maybe not. Well, maybe underneath, maybe a little bit when you got someone that's advocating for, medical self-treatment, and I don't need to medical marijuana. I just, I smoke it because I feel like it, bite me, and so to be able to go and say to gun owners, look, man, it's about freedom. And it's about being able to own yourself and exercise that without fear. If you're not able to do that, well, then you got bigger problems. So those issues are what's coming up, and I'm glad to hear that. And if you're going to use this as a mechanism to do that, Michael, cool.
Cool.
All right, man. So
it's all about a mechanism for individual liberty, peace, and we go from there.
Well, is there a database? Are we going to have, a voting block? Is there once more into the breach? We got a congressional candidate.
You're talking to a non-voter.
See, I like you more all the time.
I like me all the time, too.
All right. All right. Well, go ahead and tell me what you think is going to be at the end of your tour. There's going to be a what?
Well, I don't know if there is. I don't know if there is an end of the tour. We're going to continue trying to preach the message that we don't need no stinking permission to exercise our rights. We have to exercise our rights whether some government official gives us permission to or not. And I don't really see that type of society, probably not in my own lifetime, but I'm going to continue working for it because, the reality is no matter how difficult the odds or how insurmountable it may be, the right thing to do is the only thing to do. So we have to continue preaching the message and see where it goes.
I tell you what happens. This has been my experience. It won't happen all at once, but it will happen overnight. I mean, all of a sudden it builds up, and then boom, and as long as the infrastructure intellectually is there, as long as people understand the mechanism by which, how it was done badly, what was done to us, why, who, and that, the better alternative is just not having it done to you, just be left alone in your community. If we ever get to that point or that opportunity and we seize it, prosperity is going to reign. And I get my Jetson car. I mean, I've been waiting. I want it. Dang it, government's in my freaking way, man. So now you guys keep doing what you're doing. I'll advocate you guys doing it. And we get a little bit of flavor in there of, can I just be left alone? I just want to be left alone without any coercion, even from a local government. Now, having this message and going out there and going across the country, I would imagine that you have some local politicians that have been, what they said. Or do they even understand what you said, or they just want their name on the letterhead?
I love it when politicians grandstand. They hear a message of freedom and liberty, and then they're kind of pressured into, I mean, I know I've been for the drug war my whole life, but that guy Boldin was talking about letting anybody smoke weed whenever the heck they want, and now I have to too because 600 people were cheering for it, and that's the type of thing that happens.
We saw it Bill of Rights Day. That was December 15th at the Wrigley Mansion over here by the Biltmore. And Alan Corwin put that on. And Andre Campos, he's a Campaign for Liberty guy, worked with him on that. And Gary Johnson up there talking about, we kind of should have sort of almost get out of Afghanistan kind of thing. I mean, he's kind of in the war. He could be more forceful to suit me. But he was definitely, this drug war thing's over. And the crowd's going crazy. But there's a good Republican segment there going, what the hell was that? You got some legislators there going, honey, We ain't in Kansas no more, you know. So I understand the power of peer pressure. I just want to make sure that pressure it is for the right things. Well, I'm going to give my voice to it, and thanks to Michael and Stewart Rhodes for coming in and letting me share with them my thoughts and get to know them a little bit better. I feel better. Hopefully you feel better. It's tomorrow at the Sheraton Phoenix downtown. All day tomorrow. Go check it out. Just put in Nullify Now. Nullify Now in your Google, and it'll blow up all over the place. Nullify Now Phoenix. It'll tell you where to go. And we're going to go do some party tonight and get to be more friends. We'll talk to you Monday.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. Readers of freedomsphoenix.com are constantly provided the information that detail the real news between the lines of propaganda about government policies and the true relationship we all have with coercive governments. Learn the true condition of our economy, innovations and technological breakthroughs in energy, health, computer science, and space travel. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media, the media that is so last century. Corporate media has evolved into nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but we now have a fantastic alternative. FreedomsPhoenix.com provides constant news updates on the issues that affect our lives in the most important ways. Our liberty and our property are under constant attack, and FreedomsPhoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda while encouraging the participation of our readers. Join us at FreedomsPhoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, Phoenix.com. FreedomsPhoenix.com, where the revolution between the ears has already matured.